Hey you guys, this is Professor Vitt and welcome to the syllabus video for our course Philosophy 11, section 50208. This course takes place entirely online. There will be no meeting at any LBCC campus, but I am available here on email, and if you call and leave a message at that number, I will be able to get back to you. That's my office line, but I do get that voicemail. If you have any questions about accessing Moodle and so forth, you can do so by, or if you have any questions, you can ask them of distance learning. You can email them there, dl@lbcc.edu, or you can call them, 562-938-4818. Okay, great. Well, let's start. The governing quote for this class is by Mary Wollstonecraft, and it says, "The being cannot be termed rational or virtuous who obeys any authority but that of reason." Essentially, the idea is we are trying to develop that part of your mind that exercises rational, deliberate thought. Turns out this is hard to do. It's hard to do it naturally, but you can be taught to do it. And essentially, that's much of what this course catalog description is. This class focuses on the improvement of practical reasoning skills. Students will be required to improve their reasoning skills and will learn to detect and avoid common argument fallacies. Students will develop the knowledge and habits needed to make decisions between conflicting ideas and beliefs. Applications are made to both contemporary and perennial issues, such as current political events, the news, media, science versus pseudoscience, and capital punishment. These are the student learning outcomes of the course. By the end of this course, you're going to be able to analyze the components of arguments and talk a bit about the different types of arguments that we have. You can distinguish between examples of deductive and inductive arguments, and you'll also be able to evaluate inductive arguments for strength, cogency, and the presence of fallacies in speech or text. That's a lot of Greek. And it probably doesn't make a lot of sense to you. So let me give you just a little overview of the course. This is a critical thinking course, and it'll satisfy those requirements for the state of California. But rather than investigate things of a political nature, what we do in this class is we investigate so-called paranormal claims, or claims of anomalies in our world or universe. So we'll talk about things like UFOs and astrology, palm reading, psychics, Bigfoots, conspiracy theories, that sort of thing. You're still learning to do these three things. It's just that you're doing it in a little bit different way. Students tend to like this course quite a bit, and I hope you do too. Our required text for this course is Pseudoscience and Extraordinary Claims of the Paranormal Critical Thinkers Toolkit by Jonathan Smith. There is the ISBN number. I believe it is available online as a PDF through the publisher, and you can also get it through the bookstore. The text is absolutely essential for the course. You will need the textbook, and you will need it quickly. So if your goal is that you're going to purchase it, but you're going to purchase it through some sort of slow delay or something like that, in terms of shipping, I would urge you to get it as quickly as possible. This course doesn't last for long. It is a summer intersession course, and so the pace is pretty rigorous, and I anticipate you having the book almost immediately, certainly within a week or two. 3 weeks would be too late. At that point, we're almost halfway through the course, and you just wouldn't have time to catch up. But we'll talk about the pace of the course in just a minute. Course requirements. This is what you're going to have to do. You'll take 7 exams online. Those will be worth 10% of your grade each. Those are going to be based on text and video lectures, somewhat similar to this one. So you'll be reading the chapter from the book, and you'll be listening to my video lectures. Then you'll be prompted to take an exam. And those exam questions just depends on the chapter. Sometimes it's 15, sometimes it's 20, could even be 25 multiple choice questions. Then you'll be writing one paper. That's about 4 to 5 pages. That's worth about 20% of your grade, and I'll give you some considerable feedback as to the format and the subject of that paper. And then lastly, you will be doing one presentation where you'll analyze some arguments. You'll be analyzing an extraordinary claim in light of everything that we've learned in this course. Okay, here's the grading policy for the course in accordance with Long Beach City College's rules and promulgations. This is our grading policy. There are no pluses or minuses. All right. A little bit more important, I gave you guys some contact information for me here, my email and my phone number, but I also want you guys to be aware that I'm available on Facebook, and I'm also available on Twitter. I have a Pinterest page for people who are on there, and there'll be some interesting things on there, but that's not a requirement. It's just something that I've got if you need it. So if you have a quick, easy question, I encourage you to contact me on Twitter. That's usually where it's easiest to reach me. Note about dropping the course. If you want to drop the course, you will need to do that. It's not something that I process on my end. So if you say, gosh, Professor Vid, I just can't do this, drop me from the course, it's not something I'll be able to do. You'll need to do that yourself. Class participation. This is perhaps the most important point in this entire video. This class proceeds on a modular basis. So once that module is done, we close it and we move on to the other one. And very often these take place on a weekly pace. So you really must keep up with this class. Unless you intend on logging in several times a week or working almost daily on this course, you're going to have a tough time completing it, because if you miss a module, it closes and then you're not able to continue. So if you feel like, oh gosh, there's going to be a time this summer where I'm just not going to be able to access email, not be able to get online, then I would encourage you to go ahead and unenroll if you don't think you're going to be able to meet the requirements of the course, because there are a number of students who are trying to add this course. Content disclaimer. And the second most important thing about this video, and I have to say this, although it's a close second, this course is going to deal with some controversial topics that relate to people's deeply held beliefs. And as your instructor, my goal is to sort of teach you to think rationally and objectively, but I don't grade you on what you believe. I've had students who take this course who believe fully in a number of paranormal phenomena. That is wonderful. It doesn't affect their grade in the slightest. They've still done very well. And then I've had students who don't believe in any of this, paranormal phenomena, and they still do very well. So I don't grade you on what you believe, but you will have to be able to articulate sort of various skeptical arguments regarding these issues. I can't teach you what to believe. I can teach you how to think, but I can't teach you what to think. If I'm just telling you what to think and you're spitting it back at me, that's not education. That's just rote memorization. You can do that anywhere. So please understand, I do not grade you on what you believe. And just a second point regarding the book. The book is great, but I don't agree with all of the book. So I would encourage you, if you have any concerns or questions regarding parts of the book that we don't talk about, and namely Dr. Smith talks a lot about his own views concerning world religion and so forth. That's really a different course. It's not really part of the scope of this course. So don't feel that you're tested on that in any respect. Internet access, obviously, for an online course is going to be super important. So you must have internet access in order to pass this class. Furthermore, assignments that we have will be turned in through Moodle. You're not able to just email them to me and say, oh gosh, here you go, I emailed you my paper. You'll need to turn it in through Moodle. That's just a requirement. If everyone emailed me stuff, it would just be chaos. So I understand it might be frustrating, but everything is turned in through Moodle. That's really for your benefit so that I can be sure to log that. Next up, make sure that the email address that you have is current in Moodle. I may need to contact you, within a few days, and if you're simply not using that email except for the class and you don't know that I'm trying to contact you, that could work against you. Another important point is about academic integrity and plagiarism. This is an online course, so I'm not there watching you, ensuring that you are in fact the person that you say that you are. But plagiarism and cheating are not tolerated by Long Beach City College, nor are they allowed in this course. So when you are writing your paper, we'll talk about this more as this comes up, or you're taking a test. You are the one doing the work, and you're warranting to me and to the college that you're doing the work. If you're writing something and you're not sure whether you should cite it or not, you should always cite it. Identify language that is not your own. by putting quotes around it, and then you cite where you got it from, and then you explain what the quote is talking about. This is really important, and I understand that for some of you it will be new. That's understandable, but any work that you turn in should be your own, not someone else's. Okay, I'm sure this will not be a problem for most of you, but it's just there as fair notice. Okay, then additionally, the rest of the syllabus just covers some services that are available to you through Long Beach City College, Success Centers, DSPNS, the Veterans Affairs Office, Career and Job Services Center. These are resources that have taken years to develop for Long Beach City College, and the people who work at these centers have been trained for many years, and they're paid a tremendous amount of money to do what they do. And any one of these services individually would cost a lot of money, but they're available to you free of charge. So I would urge you to take advantage of them if you feel that you would qualify. And I have all that contact information for you there. Okay, just as we're kind of finishing up here, we have an assignment sheet that I'll go over in just a moment. It's at the end of the syllabus, but it's tentative. So if everybody in the class is struggling, or everybody has breezed through something, or something comes up in our schedule and we're going to move something around, maybe move one chapter before or after another, or condense 2 chapters into one, then we'll do that. We'll do that in the best interest of the class. So I reserve the right to change the schedule, but you would obviously know if we do that. Next, late assignment policy. As I said, because this is an online modular course, there are not going to be any makeup assignments for this course. So if you miss a module, you've missed it. If you miss the paper deadline, you've missed it. If you've missed the presentation deadline, you have missed it. So I encourage you to turn in your stuff early. I don't mean to be difficult. I want you to do well. But if I accept late work in a course of this format, then all of the work comes in late, and everyone begins to take the course at their own pace, and it just becomes abject chaos, and everybody loses. So there are no makeup assignments for the course, so I encourage you to stay on top of it. Discipline policy, doesn't often come up in an online course. However, it might. So just keep in mind when you're posting to a forum or exchanging ideas with a fellow student to be collegial. And I would encourage you to look at the schedule of classes for further information on that. Just a second ditty here regarding the same thing. And those of you watching at home probably noticed that the video just jumped a tick, and I look a little different. Long Beach City College had posted an academic calendar that was incorrect, and so as a result I had to revise the last part of the syllabus video and the syllabus. So I've done that here under the schedule of assignments, but that accounts for why this video is a little bit disjointed. Academic freedom. This is important with regard to this course. Some of the topics that we discuss in this class will, or could at least, include the use of objectionable language and adult topics, provided that those things are pertinent to the learning process. So you may be exposed to language or ideas that are in conflict with your personal worldview. You are not graded on your personal worldview, and so don't worry about that. But the expectation is that you maintain a courteous and mature demeanor during class discussions and in class assignments and so forth. Class attendance. Because this class takes place in a condensed schedule, there's a lot of work to do in a very little amount of time, so I would ask that you log in regularly and complete your weekly assignments, because once the modules close, they close and they will not reopen. So if you are going to be on vacation for a couple of weeks, or you're not going to have access to the internet, then I would encourage you to give up your spot for someone who really wants to add it. A lot of people wanted to add this course. General guidelines and information. Spelling, grammar, and punctuation always count towards your grade. So make sure that you make use of the resources available to you at the Student Success Centers and so forth. And if you have any questions, of course, you are more than welcome to email me. Okay, schedule of assignments. Here we are. This is just a general overview of the course. One thing I wanted you guys to note, after July the 5th, there'll be a little bit of a bump. The pace will sort of increase and stay that way for the rest of the course. So there are various curricular or pedagogical reasons for doing it this way, but I just wanted you guys to be alert to that. From June the 22nd to June 28th, we're going to do chapters 1 and 2, and you are going to watch an online lecture, and then you'll take the first exam. You have to complete exam 1 by midnight of June the 28th. It'll close after that. So if you haven't done it by that time, it will close and there will be no exceptions. So I would encourage you heartily to get that done as soon as possible. Then the next week we're going to be covering sources, and you'll be taking only one exam. And then after that, in July, we'll be doing roughly 2 exams per week, with the exception of the last 10 days. So it'll be full. Now, the reason why is some of these exams are bigger than others, and so we try to portion them out as evenly as possible, actually. Okay, so if you have any questions or concerns, you should always feel free, always just to email me. That's my email right there, arvid@lbcc.edu. Yeah, I'm happy to answer your questions. And actually, also, in all likelihood, Twitter is probably a real good way to get me to respond in a quick manner if I'm able to do so. So, okay, I hope that's helpful, and I really look forward to having you guys in the class. Thank you.